Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Sav with Sav City Garden, and today we're going to go over a bunch of responses that I received over on Threads. Now, if you don't follow me on Threads, please do. We have a good time over there. But anyway, I'm going to go over 10 tips for beginner gardeners. Okay, so tip number 1, not compare your progress to someone else's progress in the garden. So if you see on Instagram a perfectly curated garden, just know that it's not perfect. It's not perfect behind the scenes. You're only seeing what's growing, what's luscious, so don't compare. The second tip we received over on Threads was don't have a watering schedule, which I thought was really interesting. As someone who likes scheduling, this was an interesting tip. So they said, stick your finger in the soil. If it's wet, a couple inches down, good to go. If it's dry, go ahead and give your plants a drink. The third tip is to feed your soil, not your plants. And this goes along with another tip, is that the light is actually the food for your plants and the supplements are the fertilizer. And so where does the soil fit in? I would say soil is like the sun. It's necessary. You can grow in a bunch of different types of soil, but it is necessary to have the nutrients in there. So if your soil is deficient in nitrogen, let's say, you're going to want to add something to your soil. Make sure your soil is healthy. You want to continue adding things that are going to improve the soil microbiome, and you're not going to want to add things that, let's say, feed your plants initially, but then deteriorate your soil. So you want to make sure that you are feeding your soil, not your plants. The fourth tip is to find out what zone you're in if you're here in the United States. There are many zones, different conditions, and you can't just go based on your zone. You need to know what plants in your local area, your native plants are. That is going to grow so much better than if you're trying to grow citrus in Montana. Sorry, received a phone call. Anyway, fifth tip is to plant in threes. Almost didn't know how to do 3. Anyway, I don't really know what's behind this. Someone said it's a South Carolina adage. There's a couple comments on there that say plant in threes. If you know why we're planting in threes, put it down in the comments, because I don't know why. The sixth tip is companion planting. So this is where you're gonna put those marigolds in your garden. You're gonna put your peppers and tomatoes together. Just kidding, I don't know about that one, that's just what I do. But I know, again, I'm a beginner gardener as well, so I don't know what all goes together, but I do know about companion planting, and I know that it's very important. It helps keep your pest issues down. It can help your soil. Some take from the soil, others will give. And so it's very important that you plant things that mesh well together in the same bed or in the same plot. Number 7, we kind of touched on this earlier, but your plants may die, and that's okay, right? So learning is what we're doing in the garden. Our garden's not going to be perfect. We're working with nature. We're working with what we've got, especially if you're like an organic gardener and you don't use chemicals in your garden, right? So scratch that. You're gonna have some dead plants, and that's gonna be okay. We're learning. Number 8, start small in your garden. So maybe you just have one raised bed, or you have a couple of containers out on your balcony. Like, there's nothing wrong with starting small. Now, did I listen to this? No. Did I plant way too many things? Yes. Am I growing too many seedlings? Yeah. But a lot of things haven't germinated. They haven't, or they've died. So it's fine if your plants die, and it's fine to start small. Along the lines of your plants, some will perish, is to plant extras. And this is actually my tip. Plant extras, because if you check out my tomato planting video, you will see I, no pun intended, cherry picked from the lot that I have, and I planted probably double what I need. And so in the end, I can just give them away or sell them. If you're in Atlanta, I have tomato plants. If you're following along, we've got 9 tips now. We're on tip 10. The 10th and final tip, not that it's the best tip or the worst tip, it's just at the end of the list. The last tip I have is to create a garden map. So this is going to be really important next year. That way you can rotate your crops. You don't want to plant your broccoli in the same spot you planted your broccoli in last year, or tomatoes or potatoes or whatever. It's really important to rotate your crops. So how do you know what you planted? If it's a year later, you have a garden map of where you planted. Now, I haven't really done this, but I'm going to, once everything is established, I'll go through my garden and write down where everything is. So yeah, there you have it. 10 tips for beginner gardeners.